I want to wish you a very blessed Christmas feast right here from Christ Church in Jerusalem. And let me read you a passage that is read all over the world during those Christmas holidays. Isaiah chapter 7, verse 14, we read, "Therefore the Lord himself, he will give you a sign. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel." The context of this passage is that Israel was in a national crisis. Isaiah the prophet was meeting with the king of Israel because the brother nation of Israel in the north, the northern kingdom, allied themselves with one of the enemy of Israel, the Syrian Empire. And they were just about to attack the city of Jerusalem. And the king was requesting a sign from the prophet. He says, "How do I know that God is going to help me?" And then the prophet gives him this most unusual sign that any king could receive at that time. He says, "God is going to give you a sign of his deliverance, and this will be that a child will be born in your empire." And this was a sign where he could have said, well, there are every day hundreds of children being born here in the land of Israel. But this truth underlines to us that with God, his timetable is so much different to our perception. It wasn't an immediate help that God would give to the king, but he says, "I'm going to lay a seed for the future. There will be a little child that will be born that is going to change the history of your nation forever." And I want to encourage all the mothers today on this Christmas day, maybe in the midst of this chaotic time of COVID-19 and lockdowns, you might be wondering if this wasn't a mistake to bring forth another child, to add another member to the family. And I want to encourage you that it was in darkest times of history where people brought forth children that changed the world forever. It was in a time of crisis when Moses was born. And I'm reminded on Susanna Wesley, a woman which was living in one of the darkest hours of the United Kingdom's history, and she brought forth two wonderful sons, Charles and John Wesley, that would change the fate of the nation forever. And this child that was prophesied here was a very special child. His name was called Emmanuel. That means with him, God would invade human mankind. His presence would come down to man and dwell among men. Just 2 chapters later, Isaiah the prophet repeats that same vision. In the same context, a national disaster is looming over Israel, and he says, "But behold, a child is given, a son is born. He is the one who will sit on the throne of David. His name is the Prince of Peace, the everlasting Father, the mighty God." And this child that was born 2,000 years ago in Israel, in Bethlehem, is the solution for human mankind's problems. He is the solution for your problem. And I want to encourage you on this Christmas days that if you never have done this, invite him into your own life. He is the one who will be Emmanuel for you. He will be the one who will bring the presence of God right into your own personal life. And finally, the name Emmanuel, God with us, it's also an encouragement for all of us who believe, because the Bible tells us that Christ through faith lives right within us. That means wherever we go, we carry Jesus with us. We become Emmanuel for the people around us. And I pray that even in this chaotic time of COVID, of lockdowns, of restrictions, of financial insecurity, that God might allow you to become Emmanuel for the people around you. That people can see Christ in you. That people can see that hope and that peace that this world is needing so much. And with those thoughts, I want to wish you a very, very blessed Christmas right here from Jerusalem. And remember, Emmanuel, God is with you. God bless you and Merry Christmas.